Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you are Juikar Prateek Chandrasekhar.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of Juikar?
Sir, Juikar is my surname.
So Juikar is surname.
Yes, sir. I'm from Maharashtra, so our state board presents surname first.
Surname first.
Yes, sir.
You are Chandrasekhar must be your first name.
Yes, sir.
Now I understand.
Yes.
You are Prateek.
Yes, sir.
Chandrasekhar is your father's name and Juikar is your surname.
Yes, sir.
Now, okay. Interesting. So, Beta, you have done your mechanical engineering graduation from IIT Indore.
Yes.
Good. 9.0 score. Now, just tell me one thing. I'm just going through your details. I just wanted to know that what is the meaning of reflective journaling?
Yes, sir. So reflective journaling as such means recording the events, experiences, all these things. I add the reflection part to it. So rather than just recording descriptive observations, I record my thinking, my emotions, so that I can learn something from these experiences.
So basically you have to mention whatsoever the conceptual things also come in there.
Yes, yes.
This is basically combination of concepts
Yes.
and the detail.
Yes. If I can relate to any philosophical concept or anything from ethics, so that I also include. Yes.
What do you think about altruism?
Sir, altruism, we can say, is a positive force which pushes some people to do some kind things for the world. It is there throughout our human history. Many people like Mother Teresa, these social workers, they have been empowered through this force, and we have seen some wonderful things in the world because of it.
On the other hand, what is the meaning of ethical egoism?
So ethical egoism is the philosophy in which self-interest defines ethics of a person. So if something is for my best interest, then that is ethical. I think that is...
No, ethical egoism simply means that everyone should do the things in his or her interest.
Yes.
That is ethical egoism.
Yes.
Just tell me one thing.
Yes.
When we express our emotions to someone and we just go to someone's place, some tragedy has happened in that family. Sometimes what happens that you go there, just when you reach close to that person, suddenly that person starts crying.
Yes.
What is happening at that particular moment?
Sir, the person, he's shocked with the grief and he wants some other human being to understand that grief. So therefore he wants to reach out to your emotions. He finds he tries to find compassion, some kind of help.
What is this term known as? Description is alright, no doubt about it. What is this term?
Get sir.
Empathy.
Yes.
You might be knowing it. I'm sure by the time you are here, you just try to get a bit. Right. Now, you have written that there is a special purpose group on emerging technologies.
Yes, sir.
So, what were you doing in this?
Sir, I'm working with an NGO. They are having this special purpose group on various things. So one group is on emerging technologies. So in this group, there are corporate people who are working with these technologies, professors and all the people. So we meet together on Sundays or on Saturdays, then discuss these technologies. Someone gives seminar, then we debate or discuss their applications, and that is the interest. In future, we want to convert it into a think tank like thing.
No, but has something concrete been done by this group?
One report on artificial intelligence has been published, which focuses on local issues around Pune. So where we can use this AI technology to solve these local issues. So far, that is the concrete thing.
What is the data lake? What is the data lake? Very recently, NHAI has adopted it.
Yes.
Right? Now there are 8 or 9 organizations. They have adopted it. Data lake.
Sir,
I may give you a hint also.
Yes.
It is supposed to be better than data warehouse. Now tell me, what is data lake?
Sorry, sir, I don't know the exact thing, but I can guess if you allow me. Data lake can be a thing where the data will be secured on a cloud servers, and it could be accessible for everyone, the users.
Actually not, but let me tell you, because
Sorry,
it's an important thing for a good person like you.
Yes.
Data warehouse means you have to have always the structured data. And when you talk about data lake, it means all sorts of data, unstructured data. It can be having video, it can be audio, it can be text. So it will be stored as it is in data lake. So huge data can be collected at the same time. And whenever you want to take it out, so taking it out at that particular time, it will structure it. And then you can take it.
Yes.
So this is the latest technique which has been introduced in our country.
Thank you, sir.
Data lake. Okay. Now, one very basic thing. Reserve Bank of India has approved neobanks
Yes, sir.
in the first week of April. What is that?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware of it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not necessary for you to know everything. Then, one more thing. Government of India is now pursuing education diplomacy. Education diplomacy.
Yes.
So, as we know, the diplomacy can be hard diplomacy, soft diplomacy, all those things. I just wanted to know, how can you use education as hard diplomacy?
Sir, India's strength lies in its soft power as well as skilled manpower, and this advantage in education sector. So India can use this potential in countries like Africa or even our neighbors to skill these people. And
That is a soft power.
Yes.
I'm saying, how can you use education diplomacy as hard power? Soft power is okay, everyone can understand this.
Yes, sir.
Use of this as a soft power.
Sir, by hard power, I mean using a dominating force, and I feel that education cannot be a dominating hard power.
But India is doing it at present.
If there is some initiative going on, then I am not aware of it, sir.
Just tell me, how do we ensure that whole of our coastline is secured? How do we ensure such a huge coastline? How it is assured that it will be a safe area?
Sir, certainly India has a huge coastline. We are deploying multiple strategies. So first of all, we have Coast Guard, then we have Coastal Police, then we have Navy also. We have Blue Water Navy, and so these three things coordinate together.
No, but these three things were there when these people from Pakistan came and attacked. Now India is completely changed.
Yes.
Right? Now what is being done?
Sir, after 26/11 attacks, it was an eye-opener for entire India in the coastal security. So we launched multiple things. We launched NatGrid, then we launched special coastal information centers. And sir, I don't remember exact name, but there is one center in Gurugram which coordinates this all coastal security and naval intelligence.
Okay.
So
what is double hook strategy being adopted by India? Double hook and single hook both. Single hook is not only by India, but double hook is directly related to India. And the single hook, I can give you a hint, again I am giving you it. Single hook starts from African Horn and reaches up to South China Sea. That is known as single hook. Now double hook. What is double hook strategy? Very, very important question.
no, sorry, sir.
It has been in news throughout March. So you please try to study it when you go back.
Yes.
That is double hook strategy by India. How are we ensuring our coastline that no one can enter in there? That is double hook line. That is important.
Sure, sir.
Okay, tell me, when we are basically exploring the sea, right, for noodles, right, noodles. So, what is the technique being used here in India? India has got that permission extended.
Yes.
What is it?
Sir, we are exploring the polymetallic nodules.
Yes.
Sir, technology for it, exact name I don't know, but it has to do something with going underwater. So underwater robotics is involved. Then we have to dug up the floor and we have to bring the material on the ground without impurities. So
Without impurity means?
Without the other sea dredging or the mud or that thing.
Actually, recently in India, we have experimented for artificial living ground for corals. What is that?
Sir, I guess it was an experiment by Tamil Nadu government or some educational institution associated with it, and they were developing artificial corals.
Hey, corals cannot be artificial because they are animals.
Yes, sir.
Corals are live animals.
Yes, sir.
So they cannot be artificial.
Yes, sir.
What was artificial in it?
Sir, I think they were providing artificial breeding platform for these.
It's what can be there?
Sir, in corals, there is two parts. It is a symbiotic relationship between coral polyps and an algae. So there has to be two elements. So the base is provided by coral polyps bodies. So I think they may have developed some artificial material or thing to provide the base for this algae.
Algae. You're right now. And last question from my side. I just wanted to know that what do you think about our approach in regard to taking OFC from Tamil Nadu to Andaman Nicobar Island? What is the real purpose behind it?
Sir, this optical fiber cable to bring from mainland coast to the Andaman Nicobar, the main purpose of it is to bring Andaman Nicobar with mainland India's connectivity.
Oh, that you can do from satellite also?
Certainly, sir, but I think OFC provides larger bandwidth and reliable connectivity.
No, but a satellite, nothing can be more reliable than satellite.
Yes, sir. There should have been some technical advantage. Therefore, we are spending so much cost to bring it there.
Okay. Just tell me the difference between RoRo service and RoPax service, which has been inaugurated by Prime Minister.
So RoRo service, I have seen in my district also. In RoRo, the vehicles and people, vehicles like trucks or cars, they load it on the yachts and launches and then they transport it. So that is I know about RoRo service.
RoPax is what has been inaugurated by Prime Minister.
Yes, sir, but I have no exact idea of this service. Thank you, sir.
मैंने इसलिए इतने सारे क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछे because your knowledge was good. That's why I was trying to explore you deeper.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There has been some point of tension between US and India on sea very recently. What was that?
Sir, recently USS 7th Fleet, it's some naval vehicles, they entered India's exclusive economic zone without informing. So India presented their contentions against this move.
Sorry, what he is asking is something different. He is asking what is the dispute? ये तो बहुत बार होता ही था पहले.
Yes.
So what is important thing this time? That's what he's asking.
So important thing is US did not inform India, and at the same time we are negotiating the Quad thing, which is for.
No, yes, they declared openly that yes, we violated. तुम्हारा मना जो कर लो.
Yes, sir.
This is the main thing.
Yes, sir.
That they violated and declared it also.
Yes.
If we have violated.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to do something, do something.
हिंदी में कहावत है चोरी और सीना
चोरी.
Yes.
That's very important.
So this can be said as a new approach by the US, and therefore India has publicly raised contentions about it. So I think.
What can India do against US if they have done it?
Sir, already we are negotiating for Quad partnership. So India, we cannot take hard stand on this, but at the same time, this is not something we can ignore. So I think bilaterally there will be a dialogue over this, and some kind of SOP procedure will be decided so as to.
US has already said that we keep doing it and we will keep doing it.
Yes, sir. But being Quad members and engaging partnership in Indo-Pacific, I think we can have a healthy bilateral dialogue, and it could be sorted.
So now in India, at present, two major corona vaccines are prevalent. Which are they?
Sir, one is Covishield and other is Covaxin.
What is the difference between them?
Sir, one is vaccine which was developed by Oxford and AstraZeneca, and then it was manufactured in India by Serum Institute. And other is Covaxin, which is indigenous vaccine. So one is developed.
Is there any difference in the
Sir,
in the biological performance or some other thing?
Yes. Sir, the Covaxin, which is indigenously developed, it is based on inactivated biological element, so inactivated virus. And the Covishield vaccine, which is developed by Oxford and AstraZeneca, it is developed by altogether different mechanism. The biology of that mechanism is not I am aware of, but that
What
is.
is mRNA technique in relation to vaccine, corona vaccine?
Sir, mRNAs are messenger RNAs which are present in our cells, which transcript the part of DNA and they form the replication. So viruses RNAs are used by these messenger RNA vaccines, and then they train our immune systems, the protein receptors of our cells, and they create immunity so that the virus cannot enter this.
These two vaccines, does any of these vaccines use this technology, mRNA?
Sir, as far as I am aware of, the Moderna vaccine is mRNA vaccine, but I don't know if Oxford vaccine is also mRNA.
No, sorry, don't do this. Because all the vaccines at present, any vaccine which is being produced is all mRNA.
Okay.
Because what is this virus? What is this virus? Is RNA
Yes.
covered with protein. That's
Yes.
all. So when it enters into your cell, it orders the cell, please bring me lot many RNAs and give me proteins. And that's how it starts making copies.
Yes.
So all these methods, whatsoever vaccine is being produced in the country or anywhere in the world, is using the same technique.
Yes.
Because, and then what happens? When the vaccine enters into your body, then what happens?
Then it makes hosts out of our cells, and then it uses these cells for their own replication.
No. Then there are the T cells.
Yes.
Vaccine is nothing basically. It does not stay in your body forever. So it basically gets registered in the brain. So what brain does? When another virus of that type, it attacks. When it attacks you, at that particular time, this memory immediately activates our immune system, IgG. That's all.
Yes.
This is what is done by any vaccine. This is a basic fundamental issue.
Yes. Thank you for the information.
In Australia, Google and Facebook, they have had some kind of a trade-off or decision, the government there. What was it?
Yes, sir. In Australia, there was issue against digital companies and local news companies or news media houses of Australia. So the issue was local news media houses alleged that Google and Facebook and these social media advertising companies, they use their content for free and they earn revenue out of it, but the local media houses do not get any share of revenue from this new media reporting. So they were saying that they were supporting a law drafted by Australian government to share these revenues.
So that law has been passed or not?
Yes, sir. In Australia, it has been passed.
So in India, very recently also and at frequent intervals, the Supreme Court says that large number of cases are pending in the courts, Supreme Court, High Court, and then lower judiciary. You are aware of it. Right? Now, in your opinion, what should be done to reduce this pendency and give faster justice to the public.
Yes, sir. The pendency.
Any major points? 3, 4, 5 major points.
Yes, sir. If we go point wise, first and foremost importance should be given to the lower courts, because 85% of cases pending are in lower courts. So first we have to empower lower courts. So we can empower them in various ways. Technologically, the digitization and the practices which are used in Supreme Court, they should be scaled to these courts also. Human resources wise, the recruitment the vacancies should be filled, and all India Judicial Services, this provision which is there in our one of the amendment, it could be enacted. So those things are for lower courts. Then if we go higher courts, there also is issue of vacancies, then use of technology, then there is issue of tribunalization, because more and more tribunals are and their appeals are also creating extra cases. So that has to be dealt with different mechanism. Then there is another recommendation that
all these things have been tried.
Yes,
And still the pendency is increasing.
yes,
Vacancies they have filled, number of courts they have increased, tribunals they have made, procedures they have simplified, their infrastructure of the lower courts they have improved, they have given all sorts of things to the lower courts, high courts also, and the Supreme Court also. Infrastructure wise there is no shortage. But still the pendency is increasing.
yes, sir. Sir, then we can go for an alternate approach. There are alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. I think many times it has been said that India has not explored these mechanisms to their potential. So there are arbitration tribunals, then there are Lok Adalats, then there are Gram Nyayalayas. So I think we can boost our judicial system by these alternate mechanisms.
In these alternate mechanisms also one can find the same story again. You do an arbitration case, again the parties go to the court, and again a litigation starts. After arbitration, you must have heard about the Singapore arbitration, very big case. Still it is lying in the court somewhere. Vodafone India, again lying in the courts everywhere. So what can be done then?
Sir, one approach could be to have subject-specific courts, such as we have NGT, the Green Tribunal for Environmental Law. So in these lines, we can have these special courts so that the tax matters or the property matters could be segregated, and then that could be fast-tracked.
We have all these things. NGT type courts are there. Then fast-track courts of various specific disciplines. You have courts for SC/ST, you have courts for family disputes, you have courts for children related offences, POCSO courts, and so on. You name it and they are there.
Sir, additionally, we can also make a use of these emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning. We can have these, it is already experimentally being tried in Harvard and Caltech. So they are passing the judgments or the case types through these algorithms. Then the algorithms are sorting them so that which cases which are pending for so long can be a low hanging fruits. So they can be resolved quickly. I'm not aware of exact algorithm or details, but certainly we can leverage such kind of technologies.
Okay.
Now tell me, you have done your engineering from IIT.
Yes.
What is the reason you want to join the civil services? Why?
Sir, I come from a rural background, and at the same time my father is a primary school teacher in government schools. So since childhood I had interactions with local issues and these rural issues. When I was working with Tata Motors Limited, the Tata philosophy and CSR works which I did with Tata Motors, it impacted me. It amplified these childhood feelings, and then I decided to do civil services. Since I already had degree from IIT and 2 years of work experience, I thought I have secured my career or a backup plan if considering the uncertainties of civil services examinations. So with that secured as a middle class family, I think I decided to pursue this dream.
Now in Maharashtra, you see there's a big problem going on, so-called extortion from bars and restaurants. And the Home Minister has been accused of talking on those issues and giving instructions to some junior officers. The police chief of Mumbai has also accused the Home Minister of doing it. If you were the Chief Minister of that state, how would you resolve this issue? How will you look at it?
Sir, as a Chief Minister, certainly it puts the state in a bad light, having such kind of news on national media. But at the same time, first I have to go to the depth of the issue, because certain allegations in media, then there should not be overreaction. So first we will have to set up a committee. For the time being, we can either put the officers involved in temporary leave or some kind of distance from these areas. Then we can have committee investigations. Then the truth should come out, and then we can decide on further action.
We talk about environmental issues a lot these days.
Yes.
Have you heard about the Earth Summit?
Yes.
When was it and where was it?
Sir, it was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in 1992.
Since 1992, how many similar summits have taken place, and what was the last one?
Sir, every 10 years we have this Earth Summit. So we had Rio plus 10, we had Rio plus 20. So these have been
It was not Rio plus 10, it was Johannesburg Summit and then Rio plus 20.
Yes.
Okay, so the last one was?
Sir, 1992, then 2002, then 2012.
No. Anyway, it was 2015 at Sustainable Development Summit at New York.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what do you mean by ecosystem? This is related to the whole, what you call climate issues or environmental issues. What is ecosystem? How does it work?
Sir, system is a collection of various parts. So the ecosystem involves the parts of the environment. So these parts can be living, non-living, elements of geography, climate, and these all things.
So how does it work? What is its significance in the entire system of environmental issues?
Sir, on Earth, everyone is a part of this huge ecosystem called the entire Earth. So everything is interdependent. So climate is dependent on insolation. Then these things, they shape our flora, and our flora shapes our fauna or animals. So everything is dependent. Importance of these dependencies is that if we destabilize any one element in the entire system starts collapsing. So every element is key in ecosystem.
Okay, now how do you look at Quad, and why the China and Russia are resisting or putting some sort of negative viewpoint on this particular development?
Sir, Quad involves these 4 countries: India, Australia, Japan, and USA. The objective put by these countries is having freedom of navigation and rule-based order in Indo-Pacific. So these terms, China perceives that this organization is against or to counter their influence in the Indo-Pacific region. But repeatedly, these 4 countries have stated that we are for freedom of navigation and we are for rule-based order. So there is difference between perception of these 2 things.
In this context, how do you perceive the intrusion of the American naval vessel close to Lakshadweep recently?
Yes, sir. When we are having a strategic dialogue or partnership to be developed further as a quad, then this entry by USS vessel is certainly an aberration. But saying that, I think at this policy level or the bilateral level, they will be able to engage, and maybe in future we can have quad specific MOP, so that how these naval exercises and movements will be taken out.
How do you see relations between Iran and US, or I can say the West and Iran as such, and what kind of conflict it can have in the region and particularly for India?
Yes, in last government in USA, the relations between Iran and USA were certainly threatened because of the JCPOA abrogation by unilaterally by US's side. But the other P5 countries except USA, they were holding on to the agreement to establish the peace. So recently, after the government change in the USA, I see positive signs that this agreement may be restored again, and there could have these sanctions on Iran by USA, they could be lifted, and so India will have more moving room to engage with Iran, which had been restricted for some time.
But why this agreement became necessary?
Sir, this agreement was put there to restrict the activities of Iran for developing the nuclear weapons from their civil nuclear program. So it was to ensure that Iran uses the technology for civil use only.
Okay. And one last question.
Yes.
What is the blockchain technology and how it is different from the current internet?
Sir, blockchain technology relies on distributed ledger technology. So fundamental difference between internet and this is, internet is a centralized system in which some entities such as ISPs or the data houses, they control the centralized information, but blockchain is a distributed. So every peer, it controls or it has the entire data of the network. So the may I explain the mechanism, sir?
Yes.
So when anyone wants to record some transaction on blockchain technology, a transaction or certain set of information, he submits it, then it is verified by multiple peers, so thousands of peers, and once it is verified, then the block is formed and it is added to a chain. So everyone has copy of this data, so it is said that it cannot be tampered with.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pradeep, tell me this, that as a student of anthropology, you must have been studying about tribes, you know? And if we look at the data, they compose about 8.5% of our population, and yet they are 50% of the people since independence who have been displaced because of infrastructure projects. Literacy rate, IMR, MMR, per capita income, all these parameters of tribals are lagging. So if I were to say that basically the government of India has treated tribals as second-class citizens, and that makes perfect sense that they get radicalized by Naxals. So what would you say about it? Like, to me it makes perfect sense as an outsider. If I were a foreigner, I would have said that in India tribals are treated as second-class citizens. So how would you justify or defend it?
Sir, the facts which you have presented certainly point a bleak picture. It also suggests that tribals have been really lagging in terms of development, but certainly the government has not treated them as second-class citizens, because even Constitution provides many provisions starting from their fundamental rights, the Article 3, the articles which provide them reservations, and then the acts which have been enacted since then, the Protection of Civil Rights Act and even the Forest Rights Act.
That implementation of Forest Rights Act has much less to its credit?
Yes, sir. The government has always been in to develop them further, but there have been issues in implementation. The fundamental issue is that the tribal, geographically, they are isolated and remote areas, so there is governance deficit in these areas. So it could be because of shortage of human resource or low motivation of the personnel posted there, multiple issues, or even difficult connectivity. but the policies have been there. We need to up the implementation to achieve the indicators.
Okay, tell me the advantages of climate change.
Sir, climate change has certainly threatened our existence, but if we are to see some positive or advantages, then the melting ice caps or melting glaciers, they could open some farmlands in the Arctic region. So even in Siberia, there have been opened some grasslands. So they have been devoid of ice now for longer time. Then
Anything else other than farming?
other than farming, these areas could become habitable if the temperature rise. So the colder regions will become habitable, and humanity or the human population may shift northward.
Russia is not short of land anyway. Russia is not short of land. There are way too less people. So anything other than land?
So other than land, there is availability of resources. So mineral resources, oil resources. So we can see that when Arctic opened, the ice sheet got thinner and it was water. So it opened a trade route directly from Russia to Europe. So it was saving them fuel.
Okay. Next question. So you know about the smart cities mission, right?
Yes, sir.
And you know also there are certain criticisms regarding smart city mission, and some people are saying that we should go for livable cities. How would you use your knowledge of anthropology to transform smart cities into livable cities while being smart as well? You can use your mechanical engineering knowledge as well, if you can.
Sir, if we consider anthropology, then anthropology puts more importance on human to human bonds. So to make these smart cities livable, we can create some public engagement spaces. Currently, the smart cities focus more on sensors, technologies and all these things. At the same time, we can have cultural spaces, creative spaces where people can come together even for a weekend. It will improve the human to human bonds, and that will be the anthropological perspective.
Any other point? Anything from mechanical engineering? Because you are an illustrious student of mechanical engineering as well.
Sir, mechanical engineering has one subject called operations management. So in using the principles of operations management, I think we can channelize the flow of even people, even traffic, all these things. We can use optimization algorithms from these subject to put use so that these cities can become more livable.
Okay. Now talking about the sons of soil theory.
Yes.
You know, it is against migrants basically, and Maharashtra has been receiving migrants from Bihar. So has been Punjab. But do you see sons of soil theory and this regionalism kind of sentiment so much in Maharashtra, but not in Haryana or Punjab? Why is that?
Certainly, sir. There has been difference in reactions of locals to these migrants. One reason could be in Punjab and Haryana, there is shortage of labor. They are very prosperous agricultural states and they have shortage of labor.
But
so
also
they
the labor from Bihar is contributing to the economy of Maharashtra or Mumbai. Are you saying that the labor from there is no requirement for labor actually in Maharashtra, but they are just coming anyway?
No, sir. There is requirement for labor in Maharashtra.
So that is not a point. Agreed.
Yes, sir. There is something more.
Anything else?
Yes. I can say that it is part of identity politics, which has been a major part in Maharashtrian politics, which may not be that much enhanced in Punjab or Haryana in terms of migrants. So due to these political intentions and this identity thing, there may have been clashes or the sons of soil theory as we call. But the recent pandemic actually showed us that when the migrants returned to their hometowns, it caused severe shortage of labor and many works were stuck, like warehouses were not functioning because of shortage of labor. So certainly we understand that the labor is...
the education sector now, the mechanical engineering department.
Yes, sir.
See, Indore is a major education hub. It is the only city in the country to have an IT and IIM together.
Yes, sir.
What factors do you think have contributed to that?
Sir, most prominent factor that I think is its location. It is central to...
So is Bhopal.
Yes, sir, but historically there have been multiple institutions in Indore compared to Bhopal.
Do you know Bhopal has the maximum number of INIs in the country?
No, sir, I did not know that.
Now compare and contrast. Now that I told you.
Sir, I have not personally visited Bhopal, So I cannot comment directly about Bhopal. But as far as Indore, I feel that Indore is well connected. So even when our college placements were going.
So leave it.
Okay.
Imagine a scenario: I am the Prime Minister of the country, and you are the Secretary in Ministry of Education. And now I am wondering that IITs do not do socially relevant research. Placement happens only in computer science department. There are way too less IITs consuming way too much money. I am just going to shut them down. Convince me not, or convince me yes that you are doing the right thing.
Sir, first argument I would put for convincing is that contribution of IIT.
What is your point? Give me this point first. That should IITs be shut down? What are you convincing the Prime Minister for?
No, sir, IIT should not be shut down. That is my stand.
Okay.
And the arguments would be the contribution of IITs. So even if we see the recent, we are celebrating the job creators now. And if we see these startups and the job creators, many of these founders are from IITs.
Like, except for Flipkart.
There is Snapdeal.
That way.
Sir, I have to tell other fields. There is Ather Energy, which is an electric bike startup. Then there are many e-commerce companies. So
Leave it. Second argument.
then I would say that IITians are not just in businesses. IITians are there also in civil services. They are also there in social services. So all these sectors we can highlight the contribution. Next we can say that IIT, the brand IIT has certain value in our international stature of India. So many of CEOs from the Silicon Valley.
Rank. If I were the Prime Minister, I would say, tell me the ranks. What brand do they have? Not even in top 50, not even in top 100. IIC does better than many IITs. What is the brand?
Sir, international rankings, IITs have been lagging certainly, but we have to see the parameters of these rankings. The majority of weightage which is given to this QS international rankings and Time Magazine ranking is for the perception. And perception of the universities like Harvard or Yale, which have been there for 300 or 400 years, is certainly greater than IITs. Also, IITs are focused majoritarily on technology part. And these other universities which are higher in ranking, they hold multiple courses. So India's the IITs as a premier institute is a different niche altogether. And when we do this
that niche that required, because the draft of the new education policy before was supposed to come also mentioned that the standalone institutes of technology should be converted into multidisciplinary institutes.
Yes,
so is that niche required itself? That is what the whole question is.
Sir, when IITs were started first.
Talk about now. 50 years ago.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. In history, it mattered the technology, but yes, recently we have started on the path. IITs are also started the MBA programs. They have also starting the entrepreneurship programs. So certainly they are diversifying their. Also, we can see that IIT Madras has started this online data science course, which enrolled over 40,000 students. So I think they are democratizing this elite education. So I think they are on path of changing themselves.
Okay, one last question. Do you think it is the end of the line for internal combustion engine?
We have discussed on this issue even in our college and even in our Tata Motors company. IC engines will get replaced in smaller vehicles by, we say, 2030 or 2035. Even European countries like Norway has set themselves deadline of 2030. But for heavy commercial vehicles, we expect a larger timeline. So even in 2040 or 50, there will be IC engines, but certainly there will be many changes, and also electric vehicles will put a strong fight in that category.
What is the ratio of the number of moving parts in electric vehicles compared to IC engines?
Sorry, sir, exact ratio I cannot tell, but roughly electric vehicle will have over 70 to 80% less parts than IC engine vehicle. Because
range anxiety in the context of electric vehicles.
So range anxiety is that the person or the owner of the vehicle feels that if I drive this vehicle for longer, then in somewhere between the travel, the battery will drain out.
What is the government doing to address that?
Sir, we have to develop the charging infrastructure.
What is the government doing? What has it done and where has it progressed till now?
Sir, we have launched a FAME scheme to promote the electric vehicles. but the charging infrastructure requires much more investment. I think it is not only job of the government, but all the companies together should come forward. For example, Tesla has developed this charging infrastructure in US, in China and in Europe. So it was just one company, but in India we can put a conglomeration of automobile companies and we can do it together with the government.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
From Raigad, is it?
Yes, sir.
So Raigad has two ends of the spectrum. There are very developed parts of it and the severely underdeveloped parts of it.
Yes.
Name some developed parts of Raigad.
So northern part of the Raigad is developed because it is connected to Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. Okay. So Panvel, Navi Mumbai and JNPT ports.
So is all of Navi Mumbai under Raigad district?
No, sir. It is divided between Thane district and Raigad district.
Have you heard of a place called Kharghar?
Yes, sir. I have heard.
Is it under Raigad or New Bombay?
Sir, exact geographical area I am not aware of, but I think it is divided.
So New Bombay is essentially a satellite town.
Yes, sir.
Compare New Bombay to a Gurgaon and a Noida. What are the functional differences?
Sir, functionally, New Bombay was developed very earlier than these Gurugram and other towns, because Mumbai is basically set of islands. So it needed the space. So it expanded into New Bombay. So it is well connected to Mumbai, and the cultural differences are not that much for the surrounding regions. But in case of Gurugram, it developed later, and as such Delhi is not an island. So the Gurugram is, I can say, the cultural
Apart from the fact that there is no water around an area,
Yes.
what are the other planning or infrastructural differences between a New Bombay and a Noida or a Gurgaon?
Sir, I have not seen Gurugram or Noida, but about New Bombay, I can say that being at the side of the sea, there is a shortage for expanding the land. So, the infrastructurally, there are some hurdles.
All right.
Thank you.
What is net neutrality?
Sir, net neutrality is a philosophy, we can say.
Philosophy.
Yes, it is a philosophy or a thought process in which we say that the internet provider should not have power to decide what a user will use the bandwidth for. So the user is independent entity. Internet provider cannot discriminate between different websites or different portals.
Does India follow a policy of net neutrality?
Yes, sir. TRAI has repeatedly stated that India is firm on net neutrality.
To do is if a company or a data provider or internet service provider violates the norms on net neutrality, is that an actionable occurrence in the country?
Sir, I do not know if there is a law to punish this thing, but I remember one incident where Facebook was going to launch internet.org, through which it was going to provide 15 services for free.
Right.
It raised the argument of net neutrality and it was discarded by TRAI.
Okay. You seem to be a proponent of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
You are in support of its application in multiple forms.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence could potentially render quite a large number of people jobless. How do you think of that? What is your opinion on that?
Yes, sir. There is fear of job losses with artificial intelligence and any disruptive technology which comes within a generation. I see it as a phenomenon of horse carts being replaced by cars. So when cars were plying on New York roads, there was this uproar that horse carts owners will lose their jobs. But in turn, what happened was entire automobile industry was started and many jobs were created. I see similar thing with artificial intelligence. In short term, there will be disruption of some of the jobs, but in the long term, there will be many jobs created. So in short term, if we have to identify which jobs will get replaced, and for those jobs, either we can reskill the people, or if there are some sectors where we cannot reskill, we have to provide some social security net.
Very recently, the Supreme Court inaugurated technological advancement integrating AI into the judicial process.
Yes.
Are you aware of it?
I am aware of the initiative, but I am not aware of details of it.
Alright. You come from Maharashtra,
Yes.
which is also unfortunately known for farmer suicides in and around the Vidarbha region. In the context of farmer suicides in Maharashtra, do you think the new agricultural laws will help decrease instances of farmer suicides in Maharashtra?
Sir, I feel that the agricultural laws are certainly put the agriculture in path of reform. So the changes that the opening of the market, it is being said as 1991 movement for agriculture. So certainly I am positive. But
Post the 1991 movement generally in the country, farmer suicides didn't necessarily stop. In fact, they were aggravated. So if you're taking a safety net away, if the critics have to be believed, do you think the farmers in Maharashtra are looking at prosperous times or difficult ones?
sir, I don't think right now the safety nets are being taken away, because government has repeatedly assured that MSP will not go away, and this will open the agricultural sector. But certainly I cannot assure that the farmer suicides will go away, because there are multiple reasons other than APMCs for farmer suicide.
Maharashtra has been fairly infamous right now for higher number of COVID cases.
Yes.
Why is COVID such a menace in Maharashtra right now? Why are the cases rising?
Sir, there are multiple reasons for this. First, I would say is pandemic fatigue in Maharashtra, because even in first wave, there were maximum cases in Maharashtra. So the health infrastructure, administration were in lot of stress. And after the cases were started going down, they sort of went into relief mode, and the relaxations that happened and the some part of negligence from people's part to follow the guidelines, it raised the alarm for second wave. At the same time, recently there has been a research that the double mutant variant, it could be a cause of higher infection rate in Maharashtra. Then there were Gram Panchayat elections.
Are COVID cases unilaterally increasing in Maharashtra, or are there certain sort of geographical areas of intensity?
Sir, during first wave, the focus of or the rising cases were in metro cities like Mumbai, Pune, all these things. But in second waves, we can see that all over Maharashtra, even in rural areas, we are seeing the explosion of cases, mainly because social functions were organized, then the mobility was increased, then these Gram Panchayat elections that happened in 14,000 Gram Panchayat.
Nagpur, Bombay and Pune
Yes.
have recorded one of the highest number of cases.
Yes.
One of the primary reasons is perhaps the density of population,
Yes.
which could also be the
Yes.
fact that there is a higher context. Do you agree that there is a vaccine shortage in the country?
Sir, I don't think there is vaccine shortage as per the entire country, but there are distribution bottlenecks.
Irrespective, is the final recipient of the vaccine getting the vaccine on time?
Sir, there are contradictory evidences, because personally, when I booked the slot for my father and my mother, they got the vaccine immediately. But at the same time, there were reports in news that in some places they had to shut down the vaccination centers due to shortage.
That there are at least a few people in this country who are not getting vaccines.
Yes.
Is it justified for India to export vaccines to countries as a symbol of geopolitical cooperation?
Sir, we have to look into the circumstances in which we took this decision. When we started providing help to other countries, India was not facing vaccine shortages at that time. One reason
We hadn't started the distribution yet. We started it all together, we gave it to everybody in the country, and we gave it to the rest of the world. So how would you know there is a shortage before you even start distributing the vaccine?
Yes, sir. One reason could be lack of data at that point. At that point, the policymakers took a wise decision based on the data that India was not facing vaccine shortages at that time. One reason was that the hesitancy of people, but since the cases started rising, everyone was running for vaccine. So that created huge domestic demand. So now I think there is a time to recalibrate our distribution.
So do you think everybody in this country right now should not be given a vaccine? Do you think the 45-year-old age limit should be increased so that lesser people take vaccines?
Sir, the only way we can fight this pandemic, as many experts have said, is that universal vaccination. So I think gradually we should lower down this age limit from 45 to maybe 40 or to maybe 30. But also we have to ensure that there are no crowds or longer lines at the vaccination centers. So that is why we have put this gradual strategy.
Okay.
So I think
My final question to you is,
Yes.
you said that CSR activities at Tata Motors or Tata
Yes.
influenced you to pick up a career or pursue a career in civil services. Is the corporate social responsibility regimen in the country in its finest form? Are there certain issues with the way CSR is run in the country?
Sir, CSR is a good initiative of India, but yes, as you have pointed out, there are some issues.
Do you believe most companies are fulfilling their CSR obligations?
Sir, many of the larger organizations which come into
take an educated guess as a percentage value, if the total is 100%, how many percentage of companies who are bound by CSR obligations are fulfilling CSR obligations?
Sir, I am short on data to have any comment on that. But as far as Tata Motors, I can say that they obligated it fully.
Right.
Yes.
Congratulations to Tata Motors for that. This is the larger question on the CSR policy in the country. The last supplementary question to you is, most companies use CSR as an idea to spend money on socially visible projects and not channel it into the expertise that the company originally comes from. We should look at that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Please
sir.
wait outside.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your overall performance is superb, and I would suggest you that you should not visit many places because your positivity which has been there in your mind, it should not be disturbed. When is your
Okay.
interview?
27th April.
27th. So don't let it get disturbed. Now
Yes.
we will give you feedback on behalf of the board.
We, all of us, we found that you have answered questions very well. Your grasp on the subject is good. Your answers are very concise and not too lengthy. Your way of answering is also very good. You look at this side, that side, and mostly focused on the person who has asked you the question. The only thing is that you should also appear smiling while answering. You are not tensed, I know. You are not tense, but your face looks like as if you are under some tension. So just bear some little bit of smile, but not at that time when you are saying that sorry sir, I don't know. You have to say sometimes that you don't know. At that time you should not be smiling. That is the time when you should not be smiling. And more or less your questions were, your answers were correct. All right. A bit of application, philosophy of what you have learned in mechanical engineering, what you have learned in your job. Philosophical aspects, application aspects, practical aspects, that you brush up.
Yes, sir.
You will do well. We are confident you will do very well in the interview.
Yes, sir. Thank
We
you.
are very sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Keep this, the way you kept your composed manner in which you answered, very balanced approach, not rushing to the conclusions. I think this will take.
If there is anything in your mind, you can ask.
My facial expressions, were they appropriate or
Appropriate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No
Very,
problem.
very well.
Absolutely no problem.
and
The only thing is, so what happens is, very small observation, sir.
So when he's addressing that end of the board, he will look here and you will give this part of the board that a side eye that I'm also talking to you. Which is a good thing, but you don't have to necessarily do it.
Okay.
If you're answering that part, it's
Sir,
okay.
actually it was a suggestion that you have to address our entire board. So
नहीं
No, no, no.
इससे भी क्या है ना गलत कहा है
पूछ रहे हैं उसका जवाब।
अच्छा।
एक्चुअली क्या है जो पूछता है ना क्वेश्चन आपका फोकस उस पर रहना चाहिए बाकी हम देख रहे हैं ना आपको तो वी आर लुकिंग एट यू
पूछने वाले को इग्नोर तो नहीं करना है, बट
Yes.
ये है कि यस दूसरों को भी थोड़ा सा
थोड़ा
देखना,
देख लो बस हल्का सा
एक फ्लीटिंग ग्लांस उधर भी चला जाए तो अच्छा है.
अच्छा रहता है
yes,
ये
sure,
But main focus should be on the person who is asking the question.
yes,
You're excellent, no problem.
okay,
You give concise answers, it is very rare. People tend to be verbose otherwise.
yes. Sometimes it happens that the point which is expected by the person who is asking and I give some different point. So will that affect?
ना 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 बिल्कुल नहीं
No, 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 no.
it depends upon the logic which you are giving
Okay.
ये कभी कोई माइंड नहीं करता हम लोग इतने इंटरव्यूज में गए हैं तो कभी कोई नहीं माइंड करता only thing is कि whether you are able to logically prove your point or not that is the basic thing.
And it's one good quality which I observed was it takes a few seconds before answering. That is very good quality.
Yes.
You must maintain it.
Add to what Sir said, to a question to Sir's answer on AI regarding job creation. You gave an example of horse carts and automobiles.
Yes.
That was very appropriate. Do that. Give examples.
Yes.
That happened in real life. Give examples from your life, case studies you can quote, logic, example, fact, and theory. That's what makes an answer impactful.
So good
That's
luck.
it, sir.
All the very
Thank you,
best.
sir.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing to worry about.
and
Thank you,
then
sir.
don't wander here and there much focus now
No, since I have a shortage of time, I have only booked 2 mock interviews.
oh, good
So this one and there is another one. That's it.
बिल्कुल ठीक
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
all the best
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
An Academy. Let's crack it.